So we do have an approximate 20-minute delay according to our original timetable, but we go into Senior Rotax race 3 of the meeting, qualifying heat 2, groups C and D. Your grid is as follows. Mads Riis from Denmark will have Luca Leistra from Belgium alongside. The reigning and defending champion Matilda Olsson from Sweden will have Karol Kret from Poland alongside on row 2. Matteo Richter and Charlie Turner from the Czech Republic and also Great Britain respectively, that's row 3. Arthur Horsch and Teresa Babikova from France and the Czech Republic, row 4, with Max Stemmerdink from the Netherlands and Fabian Bock from Germany rounding out the top 10. Andreas Herbau will start in 11th alongside Great Britain's James Johnson. I had a really good, nice chat with him this morning. He said that very different to competing in Europe as over to his native soil of Great Britain. They round out row 6. Tim Mika Metz from Germany and Emily de Hoys from the Netherlands, that is row number 7. Completing the 18 strong that will compete in this race will be Taita Schmidli from Switzerland, and will have Mario Sidler alongside with Robin Knutsson and Bradley Barrett from Sweden and Great Britain respectively, rounding out the grid. Ten minutes plus an additional lap, once again set on the timer. Red lights ignited on the starting gantry. They come through turns 13 and 14. It will be down to the front runners on the front row. Riis from Leistra, Olsson, Kret, Richter, Turner, Horsch and Babikova. Lights out, we are racing. And the field absolutely concertinas. And that was very, very close indeed. Oh, a little bit of a touch there. Charlie Turner trying to go up the inside of turn 4 through into second position. But that looks to be Matilda Olsson that's got through up into second place. Turner now in 4th place, battling away with the 3:04 of Karol Kret from Poland. Everyone safely making it through thus far. Through into turns 9 and 10 comes Mads Riis, followed by Matilda Olsson. Just behind is the 3:99 of Luca Leistra, and then it's Charlie Turner. As Teresa Babikova looks to go up the inside of Karol Kret and makes the move for 5th place through turn number 11. And then the a little bit of a tussle there between the 3:01 of Max Stemmerdink, and I couldn't really quite catch who the other driver was. They come across the line. Mads Riis now has the lead of half a second ahead of Matilda Olsson. Luca Leistra in 3rd, Charlie Turner in 4th, Teresa Babikova up into 5th place as Karol Kret from Poland looks to close up on the Czech Republic driver. Arthur Horsch in the 366 is ahead of Matteo Richter, with Fabian Bock. James Johnson is trying to make his way through, as Bradley Barrett, I think, might have made up a few places in the meantime. He's already up into 14th, make that possibly 13th position, as he's now going to close on Andreas Herbau. So that could be a very, very quick resurgence from the Brit. He's got past the Dams Racing driver, who looks to possibly go up the inside in the next corner, but Bradley Barrett has managed to start pulling away. Leaders come around to cross the line to complete lap number 2. Mads Riis still leading, but the gap looks to be closing. Olsson's closed it by nearly 0.2 of a second on that particular time around the circuit. And Luca Leistra in 3rd is the quickest out of the entire field so far, a 50.430. Olsson 0.04 of a second slower on her last lap. Just under 8 minutes plus an additional lap to go. Top 3 trying to break away, but when you have the likes of Charlie Turner in your rear view mirrors, so to speak, who was the 2018 Super 1 British Senior Rotax champion, and he's provided us with some fantastic racing since he joined us last season. But it looks like the top 3 still trying to break away. On to lap number 4 we go. 7.5 minutes still remaining. And at the minute, James Johnson has managed to get past Matteo Richter for 9th place. As now Olsson gets the lead through turn 4 on Mads Riis. Nicely done by the defending champion. The Dane sends it back up the inside through into turn number 6. And that nearly opened the door for Luca Leistra, who ends up being slightly compromised. That now brings the other 3 behind. Turner, Babikova and Kret. It is now a 6-way fight for the lead. A little bit further behind is the 366 of Arthur Horsch. from Piquet's Competition. Then just behind the French driver is Wackersdorf's Fabien Bock. Then it's James Johnson from Great Britain, with Matej Richter from the Czech Republic not too far behind. Top 6 cross the line. This time between them, they were covered by just under 1.1 seconds as Olsson now goes back up the inside of Mads Ries through turn 4 to retake the lead once again. As Teresa Babikova trying to go up the inside of Charlie Turner through into turn number... Oh my goodness me, Charlie Turner had cat-like reflexes there and still managed to keep the position. And that meant that as a result of that, Carol Kret now goes past Teresa Babikova for 5th place as Ries now goes through turn 11, up the inside of Olsson. Back into the lead goes the Dane. But then Olsson re-attacks and reasserts herself, and then all of a sudden it's a drag race, and she's like saying to Mads Ries, come on, just work with me. Ries has got other ideas. Oh, touch on the back right of Matilda Olsson. And that was Luca Leistra just behind. And Charlie Turner's trying to go for 2nd, but he can't get through. Oh, that was very, very close indeed. But Charlie Turner trying to go up the inside of Luca Leistra through turn 4 into P3. De Brick, does he make it through? Yes, he does. And it looks like Leistra's going to also miss out on another place due to Carol Kret. Kret goes into the back of Turner. And that compromises the Strawberry Racing driver's antics here in the race. But that has meant that Charlie Turner was able to hang on to 3rd position. And now just behind he's got Luca Leistra. Just over half of this race to go, and it is not quite over with yet, because the top 2, Mads Ries leading Matilda Olsson, now have got a considerable breakaway. And that gap is going to be at least 7 to 8 tenths of a second. Make that 1.6 seconds as now Olsson goes back up the inside through turn 4 to retake the lead from Mads Ries. Turner still hanging on to 3rd place in the moment in head of Leistra, Babikova. As Leistra gets a bit argy-bargy with Turner, and he loses out 2 positions in the process. But then Babikova looked to possibly have gone through on the inside of turn 8, but the Czech Republic driver could not have gone through. And for his truck, for that manoeuvre, he's been given a black and white warning flag by race control. And now James Johnson fancies a bit of an opportunity up the inside of countryman Charlie Turner, and he gets through. Fabien Bock also goes through from Wackersdorf. So Turner was up into 3rd. He's now dropping considerably. So I don't know if he's having to work with a problem here. 4 minutes remaining. Olsson now has a gap of about 3 tenths of a second between herself and Mads Ries. Then it's in 3rd, it's Luca Leistra. Then it's Teresa Babikova. 5th is now James Johnson. Fabien Bock in 6th. Charlie Turner in 7th. And has got Artur Hosch just behind for close company. And in the meantime, Taita Schmidli from Switzerland, with Dan Holland racing in the 325 starting to close. Bradley Barrett now, I think, has got past Tim Mika-Metz. And it's now up into 10th. Now, there was a bit of a run wide there. Was that from Artur Hosch? As now, Charlie Turner goes up the inside and goes side by side with Fabien Bock. And that is for 6th position. Does the Brit get through? Yes, he does. Nicely done there. Leaders now nearly half a second apart. Olsson starting to pull away. And in this race, Olsson has gone under the 50-second barrier a bit earlier on in this race. She put in a 49.950. 5-second penalty has now been issued, and that is to the 327 of Bradley Barrett. So Matej Richter has now looks to have retired from the race. I think Mario Sidler could closely be following that as the 310, and causing a collision is the reasoning behind Bradley Barrett's 5-second penalty. So he's got a bit of work to do. He's currently running in P10, but that could put him down into around 15th position. Mads Ries, in the meantime, has started to try and close on Matilda Olsson. And he did it's getting very feisty for P3 as Teresa Babikova had a look at up the inside through turn 4 and Luca Leistra, but James Johnson has managed to capitalise. And now he's running the back bumper of Luca Leistra. Teresa Babikova, Charlie Turner now following. And then there's a further 3 karts behind. Fabian Bock, Arthur Hosch and Taito Schmidli. 1 minute and 50 seconds still to go on the clock. As Olsson keeps ahead, as now Lystra is getting past, not by just... Oh, Charlie Turner's done an absolute howitzer there up the inside, and he's now managed to get himself back up into 4th place. As Lystra, I think, dropped the ball a little bit there. Babikova drops down, and it's side by side between Babikova and I think that was Taito Schmidli, and then Luca Lystra trying to get his elbows out there going into turn 4, manages to get through, but then pushes Schmidli wide. That allows Teresa Babikova to get through as a result. And Bradley Barrett now trying to close on those in front, and he's got Carol Brett, who's now all the way down in what is effectively 11th position. So 60 seconds on the clock remaining, plus an additional lap. Olsson still leads. Last time around, the gap between her and Mads Ries was 0.345 seconds. James Johnston and Charlie Turner make it at the moment, a British 3-4. Followed by Fabian Bock from Germany, Arthur Hosch from France, not too far behind. And now it's Teresa Babikova, Luca Lystra, as a result of what's happened. Oh, that was very, very close indeed. And that was a move, I think, possibly from Fabian Bock up the inside of Arthur Hosch, and Arthur Hosch went sideways coming out of turn 3. Timer very quickly counting down. There's now Teresa Babikova battling away with Fabian Bock for what is 6th place on the road. Nice work by Babikova to get up the inside. Cleanly done through turn 11. As it's 3 abreast. Oh, up the inside goes Carol Kretz. Oh, we've had a contact there. And that was Andreas Herbal that went into the side of one of the other drivers. Possibly Tim Mika-Metz, maybe, through turn 12. 5-second penalty now being issued for leaving the track, and that was Emily de Hoys. So now the timer has expired. We go on to the final lap. Matilda Olsson leading the way, coming through into the main chicane for the final time. Ahead of Mads Ries, the gap between them was just under 7 tenths of a second. With just 3 more corners to go, and the reigning and defending champion who secured the title here on the penultimate race of the season officially this time last year at Wackersdorf will start her weekend on the best foot forward, as Matilda Olsson from Sweden takes the checkered flag ahead of Mads Ries by 0.865 of a second. And great to see that James Johnston had a resurgence. Started 12th, finished P3. Charlie Turner started 6th, finished 4th, and could have been in contention, and maybe even a top 3 position. Teresa Babikova finishes ahead of Fabian Bock, with the pair finishing 5th and 6th respectively. Luca Lystra, Taito Schmidli, Carol Kret and Max Stemmerdink round out the top 10 positions. 11th goes to Andreas Herbal, Arthur Hosch in 12th ahead of Robin Knutsson, with Tim Mika-Metz and Bradley Barrett rounding out the 15 drivers that finished. Emily de Hoys would retire on lap number 10 ahead of Mario Sidler and Matteo Richter. But on top of being the reigning and defending Euro Trophy champion, the Prince Carl Philipp Racing Pokal winner from last week, of all places, at GTR Motorsport, Matilda Olsson wins Senior Rotax Heat 2 in Germany.
Erster eingeschaltet, Schwankbild, Ergebnis,